Hello and welcome to the Happya Life podcast. I'm Clare Deacon, and today I want to talk about one of the most quietly bewildering experiences that comes in the aftermath of a relationship ending. Not the acute grief, not the practical upheaval, although both of those are real and both of them are hard. Something that comes later or runs alongside all of that, and that is very hard to explain even to yourself. You rest and you're still exhausted. Nothing much is happening, and yet your body feels like it's been through something enormous. You're not doing anything, and yet you're drained in a way that sleep just doesn't touch. And because nothing is obviously happening to account for it, you start to wonder if something is wrong with you. You push yourself to do more. You try to get back to normal. And the trying itself seems to cost more than you have. I want to tell you what's actually going on in today's episode because you deserve a more accurate explanation, something more than simply this takes time. The specific feeling I'm talking about isn't sadness, although sadness might be there too. It's a flatness, a heaviness, like moving through the day with weights attached that nobody else can see. You can perform normally, get things done, appear to function, but the internal cost of normal is much higher than it used to be. Things that should be straightforward feel effortful. And at the end of the day, that looked ordinary from the outside. You're as depleted as if you'd run a marathon. Some describe it as feeling like they're waiting for something without knowing what they're waiting for. A persistent kind of low level agitation that doesn't resolve. A body that's braced, even when there's nothing to be braced for. If you recognize any of that, stay with me for a moment rather than pushing past it, because that bracing feeling, that waiting, isn't irrational. It's exactly what your nervous system is doing. And there's a very good reason for it. When you're in a difficult or unpredictable relationship, your nervous system learns to stay on alert. Not because you choose that, not because you're anxious by nature, because that's what your nervous system is there to do. They adapt to their environment. And in a relationship that was emotionally volatile or uncertain, or where you were frequently managing someone else's moods or reactions, your nervous system learned to stay full, to monitor, to be ready. That's a survival adaptation. Your system was doing its job, protecting you, reducing surprise, keeping you as safe as it could. But here's the thing about survival adaptations: they don't switch off automatically when the threat is gone. Your nervous system doesn't know that the relationship has ended. It doesn't receive a notification. It knows what it learned to do, and it keeps doing it because that's what nervous systems do until they receive sustained evidence that things are genuinely different now. So your body is still braced, still watchful, still running the low level monitoring program got you through the relationship. And running that program costs energy, a significant amount of energy, which is why you're drained without doing anything, why rest doesn't restore you, why your body feels like it's been through something enormous, because in a very real sense, it has. I want to talk about something that doesn't get enough attention in conversations about relationship breakdown. Energy isn't just physical. Your energetic state at any given time is directly connected to how safe your nervous system feels. When your nervous system is in genuine safety, when it genuinely believes that the environment is predictable and that you're not under threat, that's when it can rest. It can restore, it can allocate its resources to things other than vigilance. When it's not in that state of safety, which is true for most women in the aftermath of a difficult relationship, even when things are practically fine, the vigilance continues. It runs in the background, it costs, and the cost is exactly the depletion that you're describing. This is why when people say just rest, get some sleep, look after yourself, and you try and it doesn't work, it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because the kind of rest your nervous system needs isn't the kind that comes from lying down. It's the kind that comes from your body genuinely believing it's safe. And building that belief takes time and specific work. It doesn't happen automatically just because the relationship is over. I want to tell you what I see when individuals understand this and work with it properly, because I think it matters to know there's a shape to this. The first thing that shifts is self-criticism. When you understand that the depletion is a physiological response to a sustained period of nervous system vigilance, you stop trying to push your way through it with willpower. You stop treating yourself as someone who's failing to recover, and you start understanding that recovery from this has a shape, and you begin to work with that shape rather than against it. The second shift is in what restoration actually means for you right now. It's not always sleep, although sleep matters. It's more often the slow, gentle accumulation of experiences your nervous system registers as genuinely safe. Conversations where nothing is at stake. Time in environments that feel calm. Moments where the monitoring can actually soften. And over time, that evidence accumulates. The nervous system starts to update. The vigilance begins to lift, not all at once and not on a schedule, but perceptibility. The women I've worked with through this describe this as a specific, don't describe this as a specific moment. It's usually some way into the process. It's the moment where they wake up, the first thought is not about their ex. They move through a day without the background bracing. They feel lighter in a way they haven't felt in a long time. Not recovered in some final sense, but inhabiting themselves in a way that feels real that's available to you. It starts with understanding where you actually are and being honest about what your system is still carrying. If the exhaustion of this period has felt bewildering and impossible to explain, I hope today has made it a little less so. You're not broken. You're not failing to recover. You're a person whose nervous system learned a particular way of operating in order to survive a particular situation. And that learning doesn't dissolve immediately just because the situation has changed. It needs to be worked with. A Cuppa and a Chat is a free conversation with me. There's no pressure and no agenda. And if you want to look at this more and just find out further how I can support you, you can book a session at happya.co.uk. I'll see you next Wednesday. Take good care of you.